Hi guys, it's Angie the Craftnado, and yes, I've done it again, and I've done it. I have craftnadoed myself into yet another craft, and I am not confident enough in my skills yet or in my experience to even begin to call this a floss tube, but because this is becoming such a prominent part of my crafting life lately, and I am just a fan of all crafts, not just diamond painting. I wanted to show you all of my haul and all of my starts and everything that I'm getting into when it comes to cross stitch. So if you've watched my channel for a while, you'll know that I have always been a big fan of stamped cross stitch, and I have always been one of the biggest supporters of stamped cross stitch because I think that it is just a relaxing hobby and craft and thing to do because you don't have to do all the counting, and also because I think it's easy for beginners to get started, and I still consider myself very much a beginner. That being said, I ran across a floss tuber that I was watching. I think I've mentioned her before, Kansas City girl in a Colorado world, and I started watching her floss tubes, and she showed a pattern that I absolutely fell in love with. And so I bought that pattern, and before I even got the pattern itself, I went ahead and ordered the all of the floss, all and the called for fabric and everything. It came in and it is a 40 count linen. Now, this is coming from someone who the smallest thing I've ever stitched on was a 14 count Ada in a pre-stamped kit. So I was, needless to say, in over my head. So that started me down a rabbit hole, and I started looking at other cross stitch patterns, and I ordered all kinds of stuff. Ordered, started, finished, all kinds of stuff. So I want to show you everything today. I'm not sure how regularly this will be a part of my channel, but I can anticipate it probably. I'll want to show you guys my progress at least, and maybe I'll end up just doing it in my weekly whipping chats when I show you guys what I've done for the previous week. I've always done that with all of my other crafting projects before I start diamond painting, so maybe I'll just incorporate it into that. But I figured for the first time, since I jumped off the deep end and bought all the things, I would go ahead and show you everything I got and where I'm at with it, and what I'm working on and what I finished. So the very first pattern that I started, not that I started, but that I finished, is this pattern from Twin Peak Primitives. It's called Hold Tight, and it is stitched on, and it is finished. Yay, I actually have a finish. Now it's not fully finished. I need, and it's not ironed. It's hot off the hoop. I showed you guys this in my whipping chat last week, but for anybody who didn't watch my diamond painting, I thought that might be interested in stitching, I thought I would show it again. And this is how it turned out. I think it turned out really well for my first time. This is stitched on 14 count Zweigart Ada in stone gray, and it using the called for DMC floss. So I don't know why I have that there, but I had it all together. So I thought I'd show you. And I think it turned out really well. I got a little bit sloppy here in the center of this chicken. I don't think that my stitches are really even. I think they're a little bit wonky maybe in the center, but or maybe that's just the modeled look of the different colors and the way that they're supposed to come together. I don't know, maybe. And then you can't tell really. I mean, I think the letters look fine. It obviously says trick or treat, no? I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that it says trick or treat, but I screwed up a little bit. If you look at the way the letters are on the pattern or on the picture, they're not as long as my letters. I inadvertently added an extra 2 stitches into the bottom of my letters. So rather than frog it out and redo it, because I already had the entire word trick stitched by the time I noticed it, I just went ahead and left it that way, and I think it looks fine. I mean, I don't think it looks that bad. So trick or treat, love it, love chickens, love Halloween, and I'm always a witch for Halloween. So that was like my perfect piece to start with. I wish that I could stitch it again. It was so much fun. I would love to stitch it again. And it took me about a week, maybe a little less than a week to finish that. So that was fun. And that's what I did. So I also went on to 123 Stitch because I think that's where I ordered the pattern that I had fallen in love with. And I'm going to show you that one last because that's the piece de resistance. That's like the piece that got me to where I wanted to be with this. So the second thing that I'm working on is this Mirabilia kit. It is called, or pattern, it's called the Christmas Elf Fairy, a Nora Corbett piece. And that is what she looks like. And she is stitched on 32 count linen. Let me see if I can see what linen it is. Because I did use the, Zweigart in Natural. I did use the called for thread. And actually, this came as a kit. Now that I think about it, this is really nice. This came as an entire kit. So when you bought the pattern, it came with the linen and it came with all the called for threads and beads. So this is where I am so far on her. And let me tell you what a difference it was going from stitching on 14 count Aida to 32 count linen. First of all, it was my first time trying to stitch over 2. So that was a little bit of a learning curve. I did a lot of frogging and recounting, but I think I've got it down now, and I've got my magnifying glasses, and it's working out because my eyesight is terrible. So I think I'm doing well now. The thing that I love about this pattern, and I need to do something with my edges. I don't have a sewing machine, but I need to do something with my edges. So any experienced cross stitchers out there, if I don't have a sewing machine, can you tell me what I should do to keep my edges of my linen from fraying? Because I haven't touched this piece in a little while just because I am getting so much fraying and I don't want to be losing my material. I don't want to lose my fabric because what if I don't have enough? So let me just show you the flosses. That doesn't belong in there. These are Classic Colorworks flosses, which are variegated flosses, and they're absolutely beautiful. I love this color right here. Cupid is very pretty. It has just a really nice variegation to it. And then this other one that's called Bing Cherry, also very, very pretty. It also has 2 different kinds of Mill Hill beads that go on it, a white and a pearl. And also uses this number 4 Chronic in green. And it also uses, which you can't really see in the photo, but the bottom of her dress and the top of her hat use this Whisper, which is like a fuzzy, well, if you're a cross stitcher, you know what it is, but just in case, it's like a fuzzy thread. So that's going to look really pretty when it's stitched in there, and I can't wait till I get to that. But I'm saving that and the white for last, just because, you know, I'm messy and I feel like I will have a tendency to get it dirty. If it's there and available to get dirty, I'm gonna get it dirty. It's to be sure. So that is where I am at with that. I hope to have this one finished for a Christmas gift for my mother-in-law. I think she looks kind of like an angel with her wings, and my mother-in-law likes angels, and I just think she's very pretty and Christmassy. And I have to tell you a funny thing that I did when I was going through my colors to make sure I had all of my colors in my kit. I thought I was missing a color, and I'm so silly. I didn't realize that I was supposed to mix one strand of 2 of the colors together, and that's how I came up with that. how I was supposed to come up with that color. Duh. I thought it was a whole color I was missing. No, you mix two threads of two different colors together. So that was a rookie mistake, but I was freaking out for a while there, wondering what I was going to do, how I was going to get that, how I was going to finish it without having that. I was scrambling trying to order it, and I couldn't find it anywhere, and I was like, what the heck? So yeah, rookie mistake. That was, you know what, sometimes I can be a real bonehead. Sometimes I can really, really screw things up. So another kit that I'm working on is just a small dimensions kit that I also ordered from 123 Stitch. It says Live Simply, and it has this gorgeous blue truck with the flowers in it. I'm stitching this for a friend as a gift, and it is stitched just on 14 count white Aida, and that's all I've gotten done so far. I've only stitched on it for maybe an hour or so, so I haven't gotten too much done on that. And that is that kit. What else have I started? Let's see what I've started. Oh, the first kit, this is the first kit that I actually started on. Even though I finished that Twin Peak Primitive, the Hold Tight Chickens first, this is the piece that I actually started on. And this is a kit that came from Owl Forest Embroidery. This is another pattern that I saw on Kansas City Girl in a Colorado World's Floss Tube, and it is this adorable mushroom king. I think it's called, what is he called? King Mushroom, Mushroom King, Mushrooms, Mushroom something. Father Mushroom, he's called. He's called Father Mushroom, and it comes, I love this because it comes in this box, and in the box you get the pattern, the fabric, all of the floss that's pre-bobbinated. You get a needle, and you even get a cover or a needle minder with it. And the needle minder matches the pattern. It's this adorable little mushroom needle minder. So I thought that was really cool that they give you all of this stuff. They give you everything you need, and it comes in this box. So you're probably wondering, why do I have two pieces of stitched on thread for one project? Well, this was stitched on 32 count linen, and it came with this very nice piece of 32 count linen, and I did start stitching it. And since this was the first project that I started stitching, I was, you know, still very, very new to it and very unconfident in my skills, and I screwed up. I screwed up right here. I've got a space between his beard and his arm, and I screwed up this row. You can see it. It's I think I went over one too many threads. And to be completely honest with you, I didn't love the color of this linen. And plus, look at the back. The back is just a knotted, mangled mess. That's just horrible. So to try to frog this out of there and restart it, I was like, you know, I think I'm just going to start over. Now, my one concern that I have with this is because it did come as a kit and the threads all came pre-bobbinated and, you know, with whatever length they thought that you needed, I am a little bit afraid that I might run out of floss. But I am certain that if I contact Owl Forest Embroidery, if I do run out, that I can purchase more floss in the color if I should happen to run out. And I'm being really careful, and I'm saving my, if I've got a little bit of length left when I'm done with the color, I'm saving it so that if I do run out of floss, I can hopefully, you know, make it through. So what I did is, instead of frogging this out and completely starting over, because I would have had to start completely over because of the mess in the back. Instead of doing that, I actually had purchased a fat eighth of 32 count Legacy Lugana from Floss and Fabric, I believe. yes, Floss and Fabrics on Etsy, and I switched and I started it over, and I'm doing it on this color Legacy 32 count Lugana from Floss and Fabrics. And I love the color a lot better. And it's a little bit variegated, which I think gives it a little bit of depth. And it's not so much, see this orange color right here is going to stand out a lot better than it did on here. It just stands out. And then the color of his body, which is, you can barely see it because it's almost the same. It's almost the same colors as the fabric. So I didn't love the way it. I just didn't love the way that it showed on there. So I'm happier with this. And I had purchased this piece of 32 count Lugana, and I didn't have, I don't know why, I can't remember why I bought it. I think I bought it on accident instead. I needed a 36 count and I bought 32 count. And so I thought, you know what, I'll put that to good use and I will use it on there. And the difference for me between stitching on Lugana and stitching on linen as a beginner is definitely there. I mean, it is so much easier for me as a beginner to stitch on a Lugana rather than a linen. And if you don't know the difference, linen has different, all of the threads can be a different size, whereas with Lugana, it's all the threads are a uniform size. So it's easier to count and your stitches are going to look more even. But this is all I've gotten done on Father Mushroom. And I started, oh, and then that's the other thing, was I started in the center of the pattern, which is, you know, what you're supposed to do. But because of the way this is and it has a border, this would be one that would be really easy to start from the corner, which for me as a beginner stitcher, it's far easier for my feeble mind to start from the top left corner and to work, you know, work that way than it is to start in the middle and try to count out and go around. I don't get it. I'm sure that it's something that's going to come with practice and time, but for the time being, I don't get it. And that's how I miscounted in the first place. So rather than run into that problem again, I decided to buy this cross stitch key. I just ordered it off Amazon, and it lets you measure in from your corner and stick your needle in for however many inches of margin you want to have on your finished project. So I went ahead and used this stitch key and measured in from the corner and started, so I could start this in the corner rather than in the middle. And I'm much happier with it on multiple levels. So I'm happier with the fabric, happier with the with starting in the corner, and happier with the color and the way that that's coming through. So I love the piece. Can't wait to get it finished. It's going to look amazing when it's finished. It's going to be a gift for my sister. She has mushrooms in her kitchen. So that is the other one that I am working on. Now, the next thing I'm working on, but I flubbed up, and I'm really, really just sick to death with myself for screwing this up, is this is a gorgeous, gorgeous pattern that I also ordered from 123 Stitch. It's called Enya by Sampler Cove, the Flourish series. And isn't that just amazingly beautiful? I absolutely love it. Love it to death. Now, it was model stitched on 36 count Magnolia linen. I am having a real hard time stitching on the 40 count. It's really labor intensive, and like I said, my eyesight isn't the best, and it's just been a lot of work for me to try to see that small. So I decided, since I had that 32 count Legacy Lugana, that I would convert it and I would use it for this. So I took and there are various calculators online that you can put in the stitch count. Like this is 157 by 157 stitches. You can put in the stitch count, and then you can put in your fabric count size, and it'll tell you what size piece of fabric you need to use. And it also adds in the margins depending on what size margin you choose. So I did that, and it came out to this size of fabric. So I cut this piece of Legacy Lugana, and I started to stitch this. I measured from the corner, and this is using the called for thread on this and this was expensive thread. I couldn't believe it. It was like $7 a skein or something like that. It was crazy. But it's Gloriana silk. It's hand-dyed silk in the colors red clay and antique gold. And they are very beautiful colors together. And I think that I just love the look of the finished product, the way it's shown. You could use any two colors you wanted to use, but I chose to go for the called for colors in the called for thread. So I started stitching that. I measured from the, I measured my margin in. I counted from the corner. This is the first page of the pattern. This isn't going to be big enough. It's definitely not going to be big enough. I'm looking at it and I'm like, how did I mismeasure that? And I'm so angry with myself because this was not cheap. I mean, I think I paid $30 some for this piece of Lugana, and now I've got it cut and I can't use it. So I don't know. Hopefully someday I'll come across a project, and I'm sure that I will if I keep on stitching. But hopefully someday I'll come across a project where I'll be able to reuse this thread. But I'm really upset because I really wanted to stitch this, and I was really looking forward to it. But this is definitely already more than halfway, and there's no way I've got another, I've got room for that plus my margins. So I don't know what I should do. I don't know if I should frog it out and then move it over and only give myself like a 1-inch margin and see. I don't know how I did it because I measured and measured again, and I flubbed up. I did something wrong. I did something very wrong, and I'm sick with myself for doing that. So I guess that's a start, but it's not really a start because I can't work on it because, I don't have the fabric. So as soon as I get some fabric for that, that's one that I'm definitely going to go back to working on. And I think I'm going to go ahead. I might just get the same exact fabric, just another fat eighth of the 32 count Legacy Lugana, and do it because I really liked it. I liked the color of it. I think it's really pretty, and I think it'll look really nice with this pattern. Okay, so then we come to projects that are almost ready to start. I kitted up to the best of my ability this. Absolutely stunning. I saw, what was it? Stitcherista was showing her haul. She had purchased a ton of Carolyn Manning designs. So I went on 123 Stitch and I was shopping the Carolyn Manning designs, and this one just was calling my name. It is isn't that just amazing? All the colors, it is just so cool. And that's a full coverage piece, and it is called Barn Dance. And I absolutely love it. Love, love, love it. So I went ahead, and it calls for DMC. I went ahead and ordered all the DMC. I got my DMC threads in, and I bobbinated everything. It's ready to start. However, it was sample stitched, or it called for, let me look at this. How did that go? It was sample stitched on 14 count Aida, white Aida. And that made it 13.5 by 13.5 inches as a finished size, which I thought was quite large. So I went ahead and ordered some 16 count Aida, which is going to take that size down to 11 3/4 by 11 3/4. And I think that I'm going to like that a little bit better, because 14 by 14 inches is pretty big. And I don't know, I decided that when I looked, I cut I actually had the Aida, I bought the 14 count Aida, and I cut it, and with a 2-inch, or did I figure it with a 3-inch? Anyway, it said the piece of material that I need would be 20 by 20. This is a 20 by 20 piece of Aida. That's huge. Like, that's huge. And I don't know that I want to stitch something that big. I don't know where I would put something that big. So I'm going to try stitching it on. I've never stitched on 16 count Aida, but I'm going to try it. It's on order. It should be here any day now. And so as soon as that gets here, I'm going to start on this one. This should be an easy stitch too. Not easy, but it's not a lot of confetti. You're going to have, you know, some color blocked areas. You are going to have to do a lot of color changes, but having everything bobbinated is going to make it a lot easier to change those colors out. And I have them on little rings and organized, so should work out. I'm trying to be organized, So that is the only other thing I have currently kitted up. So now I'm going to, nope, I'm saving the last one for last. The best one for last. The one that got me started on this, I'm saving for last. So now I'm just going to show you some other kits and patterns that I've purchased. I also purchased by Carolyn Manning Designs this Little Stitches July. It's just little smalls from July. And I thought that this would be a good place for me to practice doing sampler type stitching. So I will probably do some of those. I don't know if I'll use the called for colors. I think I might switch it up and do some of my own colors, especially in this one here. And probably the blue. I might switch that out and do some different colors. But I love I just love the patterns. I think they're so cool. So I got that chart, and then I got some kits. So let me show you the kits that I got. I got this little dimensions kit from 123 Stitch. This is almost entirely half stitches. So it's on black 14 count Aida, and almost all of it, the whole moon, everything in the background is all half stitches, which I thought was interesting. So that's going to be a real cute one for Halloween. Then I got this little, it's a plastic, you stitch on plastic, it's a train Christmas ornament. So I got that. Then I ordered one more kit, and this is a Dimensions Gold Collection kit, and this is called the Finery of Nature. It's also a 14 count kit, and I think that it is absolutely beautiful. Now, the only reason I have not started this kit is because it calls for cording and braiding and couching. Now, I understand cording. I have no idea what couching means. No clue. So I'm going to have to watch some videos, and I'm sure you do the full stitches first and then worry about that. Probably like with back stitching, you do the full stitches first and then you go back and do your back stitching and French knots and stuff like that. But I have not started on this, but isn't it gorgeous? So this is a full kit. It comes with everything you need is in there. All of your floss, your Ada. It's black. It comes with black 14 count Ada needle. Everything's in there for you. And I just thought that this was a really pretty kit. Then I also got this kit from 123 Stitch. It's from Riolis, and it is a set of 3 gift bags. And you actually you stitch the front and back. So this is the front of the bag, this is the back of the bag, front of the bag, back of the bag, front of the bag, back of the bag. So you get a piece of Ada that you do all your stitching on, and then you cut it out into the 6 pieces, and then you have includes this material for the bags. You sew the bags, and then you use your floss and you make this cord to tie the bags. And I think that these are going to be really, really cute for putting like gift cards in for gift giving. And it comes with everything you need. And the thing I thought was cool about that is that it also uses that wool. So what you're using to stitch with is wool thread. So it doesn't have plies. You don't pull it apart like you do with normal floss, how it's a 6 ply and you've got to pull out a strand. You stitch with a piece is a piece is a piece. So that is something, I just got this in today. So it's a little bit more of a project than I think that I'm up to right now, only because I don't sew. So I think I'll do the stitching, and then I'll take the rest of the project over to my friend's house and have her give me a hand with sewing the pouches, is what I think I'll do with that. Then I ordered a few patterns on Amazon. And so I'll just show them to, not on Amazon, on eBay. I won a few patterns on eBay. So I'll just show you those. I got Glad Tidings by Homespun Elegance. And it's just a cute little sampler with Santa in a house. Then I got this, it's called Snow Buddies, and it's a pillow. Now, it didn't come with the charm because this is obviously somebody else's old pattern, and I'm sure they used the charm, but you can find something, and I really like this. I'd really love to be able to stitch this. And it has beads in it as well. And then this one is an ornament, and it's called Star of Wonder. Also very, very cute. Really easy stitch. Really easy project. So those are the 3 that I got on eBay recently. And then I ordered something different. I Craftnadoed even, a rabbit hole leads to a rabbit hole that leads to a rabbit hole. So I'm down the stitching rabbit hole, and I found something else to try. And that is felt, or what is it even called? What is this even called? Stamped felt. So it's stitching in a way, but it has sequins, and you're going to cut and stitch onto this felt and make these ornaments. So it has 12 different ornaments that you can make. And those are the ornaments. Very cute ornaments. But let's look at them. Did I even open this? I didn't. Let's open it. What the hell? Let's see what this is all about. So we've got our floss in there and all of our teeny weeny little beads and sequins. And then, oh, I see. So you've got your felt, and you're going to cut out your felt and then sew it along the lines, I'm assuming. So you got your felt in all of your different colors. And I don't know, I just thought, what the hell? What if I really like it? Just, one more fun thing to try. This is printed on too, you just can't see it very well. And then this is, okay, so then this is going to be like the background to all of them, right? So you cut the shapes out of here and then set, this part's going to be slightly smaller than the brown felt, and you sew it on there. I'm assuming you must hand sew it on there, and I'm sure I can hand sew it on there. So get it? So that's what I got. I don't know what I just thought, oh, that looks interesting. Maybe let's give that a try. And maybe this is something that I will get my sister involved in. She's always looking for different crafty things to do, and maybe this is something that her and I could work together on over the holidays while we get together with our families and watch movies and stuff like that. It'd be a fun thing to do. So I'm giving that a try. Now, for the last thing, the piece de resistance. The thing that got me totally wacky, crazy into cross stitch. Here is, I even went ahead and ordered this extremely expensive, cool as hell project bag to house this project, because I know this project is going to take me probably 2 years. But check out that, isn't that cool? And guess what I noticed last night? So I had this sitting next to my chair out by out in the living room, and I reached over and turned off my lamp, and then I was like, what is that? What is that? These guys glow in the dark. These skeletons are glow in the dark skeletons. It is so cool looking at night. It even has this cool little skeleton pull on the zipper. Yeah, it's too much. Too much. Love it, love it, love it. So let me get the picture out of here without showing you the pattern and show you what it is that got me started on this stitchy craze. And here it is. It is called Halloween Quaker by Lila's Studio. Tell me that that is not the most fantabulous freaking cross stitch project you have ever seen. I am absolutely in love with this project. I wish that I could stitch fast. I wish I could see this better because, like I said, this is stitched on 40 count. So I did another thing. I ordered a fat eighth of 40 count Picture This Plus in murky, which is the color that is called for. And then I thought, and I didn't have the pattern yet, and I looked at it, I'm like, I don't know if that's big enough, because I don't know what a fat eighth is. I'm new to this, right? So I went back and I'm like, you know what, I better just order a fat quarter, just in case it's not big enough, because I want to be able to stitch on this immediately when it gets here. I don't want to have to wait any longer. So let me order a fat quarter. So now I have a whole fat quarter plus a fat eighth of this 40 count murky fabric, which I'm sure down the road, years down the road, I will find something else to stitch on this fabric. But isn't it a cool looking fabric? It's just so, the modeling is just very, very cool. And this is what I've gotten done so far. And believe it or not, this is a lot. It's a lot. But I think I'm doing a great job. I mean, my stitches all look really good as far as I'm concerned. So I'm pretty proud of myself with what I've gotten done so far. I'm using all the called for threads. And the called for threads for this were Classic Colorworks. So I'm using all the Classic Colorworks threads for it. And it's mostly, well, Classic Colorworks and then DMC Black. So mostly Blackbird and Black Coffee are the two main colors in it. But then you also have Bamboo, which is like a white, Honeycomb, Frog Legs, Lobster Claw, and Rainy Day, and Sassy Brass. So those are the beautiful colors that are going to go into it. I thought there was like a purple too. There is a purple. Where's my purple? Huh. Oh, there it is. It's rainy day. My bad. Right there. So silly. I counted, and counted again, and I checked and checked and checked again. This project bag, look at the inside of it. Isn't that cool? It's just the coolest project bag. It also came with, and I ordered it on Etsy, and I don't remember, if you want to know the name of the shop, you can just leave me a comment and I will let you know what the name of the shop is. There aren't any more of this exact bag, but she did have a lot of bags. So it did come with these matching little floss cards, 6 of them in matching cardstock, and also came with a cover minder, a matching cover minder. Isn't that cute? So I just thought, come on, like the witch, look at that. Does that not just match to a T? So this is going to be the cross stitch project of my life. Now, what's cool about this is that you can break it down into parts. Like down here in this picture, it shows like they just did this part of it. You know what I mean? They didn't do the entire pattern, but I am going to do the entire pattern because it's cool as hell. And I don't care if it takes me 5 years. I am going to do it. So that's what got me started on this journey into cross stitch that I have now embarked upon. And it's really, really cutting into my diamond painting time. I'm really, I know I got a lot of finishes done for diamond paintings in the first half of the year. I was telling Jeff last night, my finish count for the second half of the year is going to really be down quite a bit in comparison to the first half because I am way too busy cross-stitching now in dividing my time into cross-stitch, and I'm not doing 100% of my time diamond painting. So, but don't worry, I'm still diamond painting lots, and I'll still have plenty of things to show. So this is not like a foreshadowing of things to come where I'm going to turn just into a cross-stitch person. I don't foresee this being a regular thing. I just got so many great products, and I was super excited about my, my new craft, and I wanted to share it with all of you. So thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, I'm not the girl to ask. No, I'm just kidding. If you have any questions about anything I showed you, feel free to leave them down in the comments. And if you have any recommendations for me, if you are a stitcher and you have any suggestions or recommendations or advice, I am open to all of that because, like I said, I am not in the least even pretending to be anything other than a complete and total novice. So that is all that I have, and I really want to go work on this some more. The only thing too with working on 40 count is it is so small, and I have to wear these magnifying glasses that I can only work on it for a very short amount of time at a very short sitting at a stretch. You know what I mean? Like I have to give my eyes a rest. So I wish I could work on it just for hours and hours and hours and hours, but it just is too hard on my eyes. Someday it'll get done though, and it'll be beautiful when it does. Oh, the other cool thing about this pattern is that down in the bottom, it has a place for you to put your initials in the year. So I'm really excited about that, about personalizing it and making sure everybody knows that I did it. And it'll say the year will be like 2027 or something like that by the time I get it done. But that's all right. That's all right. I'll have fun working on it while I'm doing it. Anyways, I've rambled on long enough. Thanks you guys for putting up with me and coming with me on yet another crafting journey. And I will talk to you all in my next video. Have a great night. Bye, guys.